Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome to the show. This is Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. We're on the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, and our guest is Scott Sibley. He's the director of Journeys Map. Hey, Scott, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jose. Thanks for having me.
So glad to have you. You're working on some exciting career-oriented, I see it being described as a learning map. And I know there's challenges out there that a lot of folks don't know about related to careers and career choices and being on a career path and young people out there trying to figure out how to navigate through the education system and the job search system. And you have some solutions. Tell us what you're doing with Journeys Map.
Yeah, perfect. You've described it there very nicely from a high level to kick things off. Essentially, we're trying to build, for lack of better words, Google Maps for learning. So what we're building over here at Journeys Map is literally a map, but instead of getting your driving directions from our office down to the radio station, you're able to come into our map, and it really is a lifelong learning progression. It can stretch all the way from pre-K all the way through that career territory with stops in between for K-12, certification, college, military. All those things come into play when we start thinking about the typical individual's progression through life. And then as that starts getting plotted out, we can start recommending different routes to you, resources, support systems, and whatnot to help you get from point A to point B. And a lot of this is being built kind of overarching with three main pillars that we're trying to touch. One, I've already started touching on, really, that lifelong learner. No longer are you really just learning in that K through 12 and then higher ed environment,
right.
But we're all trying to learn something new every day. Secondly, within that is just that whole notion of workplace disruption where whether it's in your current job or if you're looking for that next job, the workplace is changing on a rapid pace due to different advancements in technology like AI, machine learning, drones, automated vehicles. And we need to be prepared for that and prepare our workforce to close that skills gap. And then the third really is, based on all that, there's a plethora of alternative pathways that are ultimately out there today and will continue to grow, where you don't have to take that four-year college degree as being the cookie-cutter choice for everybody. If that's right for you, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But stackable credentials and other things can come into play. So that's kind of an overarching view of what we're trying to build here.
And Scott, is it accessible now? Is this being actively used? Is it in a pilot phase? If it's used now, who's using it? How do you get to the learning maps?
So first off, anybody who's interested in learning more can simply go to journeysmap.com. That's our website. You can also follow us on social media at JourneysMap on your typical social media environment. We do have users out there. We've been rolling out since September of 2017. It's almost 2 years now with a use case that's focused on career exploration. So it really hones in on the career territory of the map if we're actually looking at it, with the user being able to dive in there and start exploring careers that are based on their interest. A lot of what we're doing here is built around discovery and relevance, so we feel that if something's interesting to that user, they're going to be more engaged with that system. And we started rolling out, like I mentioned, in September of 2017 with a high focus here in San Diego. So we're a local tech company. We want to make sure things work right here in San Diego first and foremost because we care deeply about the community. And since that time, we've gotten about 35 implementations up and running. And when I say implementation, that's anything from a class or a school or a district all the way to organizations and career centers that might be using the product.
Excellent. Oh, here's a question I have, and it's actually leading our discussion to a particular place, and that is the importance of knowing how to pursue your career, but not just that, knowing what career you want. How young can a person be to use the product?
Yep.
I'm hearing more and more about TK, kindergarten kids, picking careers and having in mind a career path at a very young age. This is kind of a new thing. I like it. You're involved in that.
Yep. definitely. And like you said, it's getting lower and lower. I have a 3-week-old now, so maybe she's already picked that out as well.
Congratulations.
So yeah, and what's happening is really that lifelong learning focus in the school environment is getting pushed down to lower and lower grades based on the standards and curriculum that's out there. The lowest age user we have here locally is actually through the Encinitas Union District, which is a K-6 district, and they've used as low as the 2nd and 3rd grade level, where they're having these users come in and start exploring what careers are interesting to them. And we have for those younger age users, a typical easy starting place is through our interest survey, which is really a low-stakes environment. We've built it using kind of an emoji setup where it's all based on likes and dislikes. Takes about 10 minutes, and once they've completed that simple survey, we simply automatically are able to recommend different careers they can go off and start exploring deeper. So it can be usable and from that young age all the way through that military in transition ultimately, or career in transition. And like you said, Jose, the importance of doing that at a younger and younger age is becoming more and more apparent.
Yeah, I mean, it helps to answer the question, why are we doing this?
Yep.
And so a person could be, let's say, a 5th grader. They have let's say they want to be an air traffic controller. Now,
Yep.
you said this could be like the Google of jobs searches or Google of careers. Could they, at that age, follow the map to that career?
Yep, exactly. So they can come in here, and let's say I go find that air traffic controller occupation, and then one of the actions they can take right then and there is to what we call create a journey. So by doing so, you've said, okay, this is where I'm trying to get to. And then the other parameter, just like driving directions, we need where are you starting from? So we know you're a 5th grader, so we know you're a 5th grader. We know where you're trying to get. And then based on all the different data points we have in the system, we'll be able to start recommending to the user different pathways or journeys, like we call them, to get from point A to B. And that can be through college, certification, stackable credentials, or military service potentially.
Right. It's very exciting. Now, a person can do their search from anywhere in the country for a career in anywhere in the country? That's a question.
Yes. So that is correct. We have users here in San Diego as well as nationwide, and part of what those users start seeing, no matter where we are, is many of the dashboard widgets that we're building out are regionally focused. So if I'm here in San Diego, interested in that air traffic controller occupation, one of the widgets that we present to the user is wages. And I'm able to see what are the wages in San Diego compared to the national wages for that job. If I was back in New York or in Iowa, I would see that same thing for where I am today. So trying to bring geographic relevance to the users, another important criteria that we're trying to bring into the system to add relevance to them.
Yeah. Well, you would have had to collect a lot of information about educational systems, careers, credentials, et cetera. And you even use the terminology, and I want to come back to it maybe in the second segment, workforce disruption. It's a moving target out there, isn't it? So you're always having to update your data, correct? And how do you do that?
That is correct. So the way I like to describe it is really the map is really just a canvas in the way we've built it out. And what I mean by that is for those data components, there's a series of either databases or APIs, so program interfaces that can automatically publish that information into our system that then gets presented on the map where it's relevant. So that's one way, and through those techniques, it's able to be automated where possible, which is awesome. As well as reverse that, we envision a time when organizations and companies or individuals can start innovating on top of the map, no different than users and companies use Google Maps today to start driving directions for Uber, for example, where you could use Journeys Map to start building a whole new app or platform out there, and maybe you're only using 10% of it, but those data points that we're curating are valuable to you. So it can go both ways, but a lot of that comes through our work, both with publicly accessible databases as well as working directly with organizations that are industry authorities in these different areas.
Right. I've always had an issue with us not on our own, because it sounds like you've done it already, created an alignment between education systems, school districts, schools, and careers. Would you say you made ground on that, and why aren't we taking that and running with it?
Yeah, we'd like to think that we've made ground on it, so that's our goal. So we want to try to really bring all these main pillars together. So it's that individual coming into the system, the school systems, both in higher ed and K-12, as well as certification providers, and then, like you said, Jose, all the way out to industry. And each of those players in the system have a place in our map, and that's the purpose for kind of getting that collective impact all on the level playing field. And a lot of times our real goal is that you might come in here thinking about one thing, and then by being there, you're going to see something that you never even thought of, but it's relevant to the fact that, I never knew that this company is in cybersecurity.
Right.
That's just down the street from me, and I'm interested in that field. Maybe I can go check out more about them. So thinking about that map as that easy way to bring these neighborhoods together and make them, expose them where needed.
Excellent. Well, I have a lot more questions for you. You're coming up with the answers, and they're good ones, and promising. For our listeners, who might be looking for a career, this is encouraging because it's not easy out there finding, your starting point. Where are you? Where am I in all of this, and how do I get to where I want to go? So you're providing that through Journeys and the Journeys map. So we're gonna come back with Scott Sibley, who's the director of Journeys Map, and have some more exchanges. I'm Jose Cruz. You've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show. We're on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Donate cash, furniture, clothes, and other gently used household items to Father Joe's Villages and get a nice tax break in April. Every donation is tax deductible. Believe you can make a difference. Be Father Joe. Go to neighborhood.org or call 1-800-HOMELESS to donate today.
Life is full of misadventures, from car crashes to home fires to getting choked out on the mat. Yes, I said getting choked out because I'm Carlos Kramer, jiu-jitsu competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Too much to do? Not enough time to get it done? Call on the experts at Another 8 Hours for your business support needs. By partnering with Another 8 Hours, we allow you to focus on the more important matters, like being in front of your clients, doing what you do best, rather than being stuck at a desk poring over paperwork, rummaging through emails, returning phone calls, and struggling to get everything done by yourself. Meanwhile, your family and social life are going down the drain. Go to another8hours.com or call 8 more hours. That's 866-734-6877.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world where children don't play, or dream, or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children. Because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website stjude.org.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. You've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio. Our guest is Scott Sibley. He's the director of Journeys Map. Scott, sometimes we wait till the end of the show to give the contact information. Tell folks where they can learn more about Journeys Map, and is what you're describing, is that available to them now? Does it cost money? How does this work?
Yep, perfect. So our website is journeysmap.com, so that's one place to easily find us. Or like I mentioned earlier, we are on social media, so Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc., at Journeys Map. You can also always feel free to email me directly. It's ssibley, S-I-B-L-E-Y, at journeysmap.com. I'll be sure to get back to you. And yes, it is all available now. The way we've been rolling things out over the past almost 2 years is through adoptions through organizations. And when I say organization, I mean anything from a class or a school or a district to a career center, really any entity that's interested in offering Journeys Map to their users. They can contact us, and we can walk through a live demo with them, show them what it's about, and then talk about how it can be implemented there. And the cost of implementing ranges anywhere from $2 to $10 per user per year. So it's a yearly license that really builds in a connector that allows you to start seeing some of the important data that's being generated by your users' usage of the system. And like I mentioned, all that's readily available now, and we're more than happy to facilitate any of those conversations.
Very nice. Now I'm going to run with the maps metaphor and the Google metaphor. When you're following directions, let's see how MapQuest. Let's go there. You're going to check, I don't know, every few blocks maybe. You take an exit, and maybe you're looking again, or you're hearing directions. How often would the average user check in and say, "Hey, where am I now?" What are the increments, I guess, in terms of the steps, right?
So I'll answer that in two ways. The steps right now are probably a lot more spread out than what they ultimately will be in our minds in the long run. So the way it is now, it's probably the system is used, say, on a weekly or monthly basis, where they're kind of checking in, maybe searching for a new job, or they want to look up what the wages might be based on the new study that's out there. So it's more of a here and there type check in and check out. But the benefit of the way we're building everything out here is that our map gets down to the granular level. So let's say I'm that fifth grade student who is interested in the
air traffic control.
Air traffic control, thank you. I started mapping that journey out. Now, yes, that's where I want to get to. But the other thing that we're building into the system is I'm that fifth grader, and let's say I'm here in San Diego, and I'm at a school that uses the California Common Core Standards taxonomy. As part of my journey, I could actually click into my fifth grade, next year sixth grade, seventh grade, so on and so on. And that's going to give me a viewpoint of the subjects and different related standards that are part of all the different curriculum that I'm going to be walking through. So in that use case, as we keep building it out, it's going to truly be that day in, day out tool where whether I'm that student or that teacher who's trying to teach that class about the Pythagorean theorem in eighth grade, I can actually get down to the nitty-gritty of those details. So now I can see how that work in eighth grade connects all the way out to the job of the future for that student.
That's incredible, just incredible. And I know it's hard. It's got to be hard to keep up, and I know so much of it is automated, and that's a good thing. That's the upside. The downside is things do change quickly. The quote I know from Alvin Toffler is that the literate of the 21st century won't just be people who can read, write, and spell. There will be people who can learn, unlearn, and relearn. Is that what you're seeing out there? Is that what you're having to keep up with?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, especially in the environments that we're heading into today. A great use case that we've been fortunate to really work on over the past 2 years through a partnership with a local organization called the San Diego Cyber Center of Excellence really touches on just that, where that organization is very focused, obviously, in the cyber industry by their name, and they're trying to be that intermediary between the pipeline of individuals that are coming into that industry and connecting them with the education providers and then into the industry, and making sure all three players are on the same alignment. And cyber being one of those industries that's changing on a daily, weekly basis with what's out there. Part of the benefit 2 years ago that team saw was they had all this great data out there that the government, the typical databases being managed by the government, weren't moving fast enough to be able to accurately push this cyber information out.
Mm-hmm.
So they viewed the map as a vehicle to start being able to present that information and being able to control how fast it gets out to people. And over the past 2 years, we've been working closely with that team, which has led to many other opportunities, including more recently being formally invited to be part of a task force in Washington, D.C. from the National Initiative of Cyber Education that is studying the future pathways of cybersecurity. And in just a few weeks, we'll actually be traveling back to D.C. to hold that, another one of their monthly meetings that reports directly to the president.
Well, I see that you received a number of awards, special recognition, and you have a number of champions and advocates in your corner for what you're doing, and what you're doing is so important. I still kind of get the sense, Scott, that some of the things that you're doing are happening in advance of things that are understood within the system, the real systems out there. And so maybe I'm re-asking a question just in terms of there being people who matter in this network, education and employment, that there is a concurrent with what you see as alignment, what you are identifying as alignment in Journey's Map. Are you in ahead of the game? Are people watching and saying, "Hey, maybe we need to better define what we're offering"?
Yeah. Hopefully, we're ahead of the game. I think in the current environment, it'd probably be hard to say that we're always going to be there. But the idea of being we're at least we have our eyes on 5, 10, 15 steps ahead to know where we're trying to get to related to all this. And as you know, there's going to be so much change happening and so many data points and databases and new jobs being created and different organizations coming together to help connect everything. And our true hope is that as we keep building things out here slowly but surely, and Journey's Map becomes more commonplace, all of these different individuals all the way to organizations are going to start seeing it as that place where they can all come together, have that sense of community, start building on top of it, and make sure that we all know where we're trying to get to, and really taking it all the way back to the cavemen used to draw maps on their wall to figure out where the water hole was. Well, this is just the next great advancement of mapping technology in our minds.
Yeah, very good. I mean, Journey's Map is, it's in my thinking, it's a wish come true. It's the future. It's the foundation for the future in terms of careers and such. Real exciting again because it's hard for folks to figure out what one, they have to figure out what they want to be, and then two, how to get there and all that. So that's priceless to us. Any last words? We're about ready to sign off. You got about 20 seconds.
No, well, thank you very much, first off. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we are more than happy to set up either in person here in San Diego or virtual demonstrations of Journey's Map. So journeysmap.com, or feel free to reach out to me directly, Sibley at journeysmap.com. And we appreciate your time, Jose.
Thank you so much, Scott. Let's have you back maybe a year from now. Give us some updates on what's taking place. We appreciate having you. You've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
In the military, things can change in an instant. Your personal life is just the same. Just like you protect our country, you want your family protected. That's why thousands of military members trust Navy Mutual Life Insurance. Navy Mutual is nonprofit, providing current and former Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard families with life insurance, no sales fees, and no military service restrictions. Protecting members on active duty and beyond. Call 1-800-628-6011, 800-628-6011, NavyMutual.org, insuring those who serve.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.